My beloved child, listen closely, for this moment is no longer a distant warning, but a reality touching the very place where you stand. Everything has begun. The hidden currents your eyes could not yet see are rising to the surface. This earth groans under the weight of sin, rebellion, and deceit. What was once concealed in darkness now wears a dazzling disguise to deceive the nations. Child, I want you to be alert, for the enemy of your soul does not sleep, and if you do not keep watch at the gate, it will enter through the smallest cracks. I tell you, the walls you think are secure will shake if their foundation is not set on me. Places you call safe will become unstable if they are not filled with my presence. You cannot rely on your own strength, nor cling to old habits, thinking they will shelter you. I alone am a refuge. I alone am the fortress that endures. If you build your home on sand, when the storm comes, it will collapse. But if you lay your foundation on the rock, even with rain, wind, and waves, it will stand. Matthew 7, 2, 4, 25. You do not see what I see, for your eyes look only within the limits of the present. But I see the snares being set. I see the flowery promises that are empty. I see pacts made backstage, signed by hands stained with ink. I see clever words donned in the garb of benevolence, but in truth are swords that cut the foundations from beneath you. I see whispers sown to lull you to sleep, while in reality, they are the darkness's strategy to unsettle your faith. Therefore I draw near and speak plainly to you, so you will not be lost in illusion. Child, I know you have prayed many times for protection. I know your heart longs for safety. But I want you to understand, the protection I give does not always come by preventing every upheaval, but sometimes by opening your eyes so you may see the truth. The warnings you feel in your spirit are not imagination but spiritual discernment. They are a sounding alarm so you will not be swept away. Do not dismiss them as baseless anxiety. Do not try to soothe yourself with fleeting pleasures. Receive them and regard them as my guidance. The storm rising is not meant to crush you, but to expose what truly has roots in me. What I have sown will endure. What humanity has erected will be shaken. Therefore do not cling to what I remove. Do not fight to hold on to things that do not come from me. Child, now is not the time to argue or demand easy signs. This is the hour to obey the voice of prophecy, even if it leads you out of the familiar. I call you to a deeper place where only my voice is life. This is not the depth of ritual, but the depth of true union. You will find I stir in your heart an urgency that formal religion has dulled. I shake you so you will not be content with a thin veneer. Do you sense the weight upon your spirit, the urging that will not let you rest? That is me, my voice breaking through the noise of the world. Let your house be covered. Mark your doorposts with prayer. Let the atmosphere within resound with worship, not fear. Let my words echo through every room, drowning out the world's clamor. You are not merely an observer, but a guardian, and the wall you guard is the home you inhabit. Rebuild the altar for me, not with ritual, but with surrender. I do not seek form. I seek a broken heart. Let pride crumble. Let selfishness be crucified. Let your need to control die. Make room for me, not merely in words, but in truth. Child, I have kept you in recent days, not because you are worthy, but because I am full of mercy. I have sheltered you when you did not know you were walking near a precipice. But now I call you into maturity. It is no longer enough to sit and presume safety upon old prayers. This is the hour to give me your full attention. Be vigilant, obey, cling to me, for I am your life. My beloved child, do not be surprised when you see this world turned upside down, for I foretold that the last days would be filled with deceit and compromise. Yet what concerns me is not the outer chaos, but the condition of your heart. Will you let truth take root, or will you cling to temporary security? I tell you, safety is not found in wealth status or human accolades. It is found only in unity with me. If you lose everything, but still have me, you will stand. But if you possess the world and lack me, you will fall in an instant. Open your eyes to see how the enemy operates. It does not come in horrifying guise, but as an angel of light. It pours into your ear reasonable-sounding words that are at their core venom. It persuades you that a little compromise is harmless, that postponing obedience for a day is insignificant. But behold, that little will open a fissure for the flood of darkness to rush in. Do you remember what is written? A little yeast works through the whole batch of dough, Galatians 5:9. One small concession will gradually become chains that bind. My stirring is the reason I will not let you rest in comfort. I rouse you so you may recognize that this season is not for slumber. Do you feel unrest in your spirit? Do not hastily dismiss it. Do not label it useless anxiety. That is the warning cry of the Holy Spirit. I use the trembling within to wake you, for I know that if you rely only on what your eyes see, you will be easily deceived. Child, learn to listen more inwardly than outwardly, for in the silence I whisper things the world will never tell you. You often long for my consolation, yet sometimes I answer with a call to wakefulness. True love does not let you glide on illusion, it lifts you to face reality. I will not pamper your soul with counterfeit ease, but I will train you to be a warrior. If you only hide in the shade when the storm comes, you will quake. But if you learn to walk in my light, you will stand firm, though the tempest rages. Do not cling to what I never gave you. There are relationships, ambitions, and habits you deem good, but I see they are merely chains. When I take them away, you grieve, yet, in truth, it is liberation. You want to hold on, but I know if they remain, they will pull you far from your sacred purpose. Therefore, do not argue with me. Do not cling to what I am removing. Trust that my hand never takes away without giving something better in return. I know there are times you long for a clear sign, an easy confirmation to reassure your steps, but you do not need another sign, for you already know my voice. You have heard me in the fog of days past, and that voice has led you through. So why do you hesitate today? When I speak, you need not wait for the crowd's approval. You do not need human confirmation. You need only obey. True faith is proven not by perfect understanding, but by surrender to what I have spoken. Remember Abraham. He did not know the destination, he had no map yet. He left his homeland because I said go. That obedience opened the way for a promised lineage of blessing. Likewise, you need not see the whole road. Place your hand in mine and step forward. I am the way. I will not lead you to ruin, but to abundant life. I call you into a deeper place, not the depth of ritual, but of genuine communion. My words are not mere phrases, but bread for the soul. You must learn to live not by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from my mouth. Matthew 4:4. If you depend only on superficial knowledge, you will fall when the fierce waves surge. But if you let my words sink deep, you will remain when all around you shakes. Take heed, I do not demand outward perfection. I do not require grand ceremonies. I want a broken heart. I want my proud self to be nailed down. I want you to relinquish the need to control so that I may reign. Will you give me room not only in words, but in every decision, every breath, every small choice? Your home, child, is not merely a shelter for the body, but a front line in the spiritual battle. Let the atmosphere there echo with worship. Let prayer rise like incense to cover every room. Do not allow bitterness or fear to become the loudest voice in the household. Let my peace dwell. Let faith resound. Let my voice drown out the world's clamor. I call you not merely to survive, but to guard. You are not a victim, but a warrior. Not one who trembles, but one appointed. I chose you not to blend in, but to stand out, not in pride, but in purity, not in arrogance but in assurance. You are the lamp I have placed tonight. My beloved child, at this moment, I want you to understand that your home is not merely a shelter from sun and rain, but a sacred front line. If you treat it lightly, the enemy will exploit every crack to creep in. But if you are alert and raise a spiritual fence, it will not be able to break through. I call you not simply to live for yourself, but to stand as a watchman. You are the gatekeeper, the shield, the sounding trumpet when darkness seeks to advance. Do not think this responsibility too heavy, for I never call you to something without granting you the strength to accomplish it. Remember the days when the people of Israel rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem under Nehemiah's leadership. Each man worked with a tool in one hand and a sword in the other to defend himself. Nehemiah 4:1-7. That is the picture of you today. You must both build the home in love and take up spiritual weapons to guard it. Do not be indifferent. Do not assume others will do your part. You have been appointed the watchman on your household wall. Child, I do not seek altars of marble, nor need elaborate rituals. I seek genuine surrender. I want to see pride fall, independent self nailed to the cross, hardness melt away so that I may reign. Do you know why? Because I cannot dwell where hypocrisy abounds. I dwell in the humble, broken heart. It is there that my power is revealed. Do not think I protect you, because you deserve it. No, you are sheltered by my mercy. How many times have I placed my hand over you, even when you were unaware you stood near a cliff? But now, I do not want you to live by passive protection alone. I call you to maturity, to participate in that protection. You cannot sit idly by relying on old prayers or borrowed faith. This is the hour to stand in the place I have appointed you. Look closely at this age. There are subtle movements in the law, in cultural currents, in technology, and even within what is called spirituality. Many things appear to help, but are actually chains. Many words sound wise, but are in truth sweet poison. I see strings being pulled behind the scenes, hearts being swept away, and I know the road they lead to. That is why I call you, draw nearer to me. Do not only follow me, cling to me. Do not merely listen, do what I say. You will be mocked, labeled foolish, even by those close to you. Do not let their confusion dim the clarity within you. Do not wait for consensus. When I speak, act. The hour is dark, yet you are not without light, for I am in you. You carry my spirit, my words, and my authority. Use them. Proclaim the truth in every room. Declare light over your house. You were not chosen merely to be safe, but to exert influence. I ordained you for this hour, not by chance, not by mistake. Your voice matters. Your choices carry weight. Your faith can shift the atmosphere around you. What you allow will multiply, and what you confront will be broken. So do not be indifferent. Do not compromise. This is not the time to blend into the crowd, but to stand out in purity and conviction. I am calling my people out of half measures. I am separating light from darkness. The gray zones are fading, and the boundary lines grow clearer. Your home is the first assignment. Keep it, purge it. Fill it with my presence. Do not let bitterness, unforgiveness, or doubt rot the foundations. Offer generous forgiveness, pursue reconciliation, swiftly speak words of life, sow peace, and walk in humility. These things are not small, they are weapons. They are your armor to protect you and your family. I see promises written on your family's destiny long before you were born. I have never forgotten, even when you have. I am faithful to keep my promises, but now I want you to step into stewardship. This is not a time to bury the gifts given to you, but a time to invest them to use what I have placed within you. Do not hand your children over to worldly culture, nor outsource discipleship to others. You yourself teach them about me. Show them how to pray. Let them witness your faith. Your authenticity will resonate far more powerfully than any sermon. I will provide, but I will also prune. I will shelter, but I will also discipline. I will lead, but I will not drag. Walk with me willingly. Obey without hesitation. Trust without having to understand everything. Rest without needing to control. For I am the good one, and that goodness is not always gentle, but it is always complete. My beloved child, you are not alone in this. Even when you feel you stand by yourself, I still have a remnant. I am awakening many hearts everywhere, kindling the flame in hidden places. You are part of a great movement, not dependent on stage lights, but on obedience, not on numbers, but on faithfulness. You are not failing. You are being realigned. This shaking is not the end, but the beginning. My beloved child, I want you to understand that the enemy of your soul never appears in its true form. It knows that if it showed itself in all cruelty, you would resist. Instead, it dresses in the garments of light, pretending to be an angel, bearing good tidings. It knows how to speak reasonable-sounding words that hide venom within. It knows how to strike at the deepest longings of your heart, turning dreams into traps and thirsts into chains. Therefore, I speak to you, be alert. Do not let counterfeit wisdom seduce you. Do not let false safety lull you to sleep. Look at the world around you. What was once deemed shameful is now celebrated as freedom. What was once hidden is now presented as achievement. People call lies truth, and they label truth as extreme. What I call sin is adorned with beautiful words. This is how the darkness works. It does not deny truth outright, but it blurs it, mixes it into grayness, leaving you confused about the right path. I declared long ago, woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Isaiah 5:20. Child, you are living in that time. The enemy is not in a hurry. He sows seed little by little, nurturing compromise step by step. At first, he does not demand you abandon me, but only whispers. Wait one more day. A little concession won't hurt. Yet that little is the gateway for a flood of evil to rush in. Do you remember what I warned? A little yeast works through the whole batch of dough. Galatians 5:9. Likewise, a small concession will gradually become heavy chains. That is why I rouse you to keep you from falling into that sweet yet deadly snare. You often long for calm from me, but I love you too much to let you sleep in deception. That is why I allow unrest to rise in your spirit. You call it discomfort, but in truth, it is the alarm bell. It is my Holy Spirit reminding you that something is wrong. Do not quench that warning. Do not bury it with fleeting pleasures. Let that urging lead you into prayer, for that is how you distinguish the true from the false. I do not call you to live by sight. What your eyes behold may be counterfeit, but what I reveal is always real. When Eve stood in the garden, the forbidden fruit looked pleasing, wise, and desirable, but within it was death. Likewise, what seems attractive out there may lead to ruin if not judged through the lens of my word. Do not rely on your own verdicts. Ask me, seek me, let me illuminate. Darkness is not afraid of those who know much. It fears the obedient. It is not threatened by religious forms. It fears those who truly live in my presence. Therefore, I do not primarily call you to accumulate knowledge, but to enter into union with me. When you are in me, you will sense the odor of falseness from afar. When you cling to me, you will not be enticed by sweet talk. When you let me reign, every cunning scheme will be exposed. Guard your heart above all else, for from it springs the wellspring of life. Proverbs 4:2-3. Do not let hatred, suspicion, or fear take root. Do not let the whispers of the world become the echo in your soul. Let my word be the loudest voice within you. Make your home resonate with my truth. When your lips declare my promises, the atmosphere in your house will change. When you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, you build a wall against the darkness. When you kneel in prayer, Angels are dispatched to stand guard. Do not think yourself too weak to do this. I do not ask it of you in your own strength. I have placed my Holy Spirit within you. When you have no words to pray, He intercedes with groanings that cannot be expressed. Romans 8:2-6. When you are exhausted, I lift you. When you are confused, I direct you. You are not alone. You have me, and I am enough. I call you to be a watchman, not to burden you, but to honor you. You are the one I entrust to stand between your household and the assaults of darkness. This role is not small. It can determine the destiny of generations. Every word you declare, every action you choose, every tear offered in prayer, all have eternal resonance. Do not take it lightly. Stand firm. Do not forget that I chose you for this moment. Not by chance, not by mistake. I appointed you to stand on the wall of your household. If you are faithful, your home will become a fortress. If you are alert, darkness will find no place to dwell. If you obey, I will pour blessings upon you and your household. So arise, stand guard, and cling tightly to me. My beloved, the enemy does not necessarily need to make you publicly renounce me to gain victory. More often, he does not press you to deny, but whispers, "Wait a little longer." That delay, if you heed it, will gradually become a chain. Many souls have not fallen through direct opposition, but through prolonged lullabies of complacency. Child, do not mistake idle, waiting for wisdom. If I speak now, then now is the time for you to obey. Remember, neutrality does not exist in the spiritual kingdom. If you do not step in, you are standing outside. If you do not choose me, you have implicitly chosen another way. The enemy wants you to believe that merely not resisting is enough, but the truth is not receiving is refusing. Not moving is standing still. Not choosing life is choosing death. I have said, whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. Luke 1:1-3. That is why I rouse you from ambiguity. You may think you are safe, because you still come to me by habit, maintain the form, and profess my name with your lips. But I measure the heart, not the habit. I see the true motive, not the outward show. I know when you truly hunger, and when you are merely preserving a religious veneer. Child, remember, no ritual can substitute genuine union. If your soul is not transformed, if the Holy Spirit does not reign, then every form is an empty shell. The subtlety of darkness is that it does not incite outright rebellion. It encourages delay. It knows that if you refuse immediately, conscience will accuse. But if you merely wait a little longer, take one step back, soon you will be miles away. A small retreat each day will lead you to a precipice you never expected. That is why I warn you, do not let laziness, hesitation, or procrastination become a lifestyle. Do not let tomorrow steal the obedience of today. I call you to act the moment you hear my voice. When I stir your heart, do not say, "Tomorrow I will pray, tomorrow I will change." Tomorrow may not belong to you. Today is the day I give. Today is the opportunity for you to rise, to surrender, to guard your home. Do not let time pass into regret. Use every moment to sow spiritual seed into your life. I do not speak to make you afraid, but to awaken you. The enemy wants to lull you with comfort so you think everything is fine and there is no need to go deeper. It says you have done enough, you have prayed enough, you have believed enough. But I say there is no such thing as enough in a relationship with me. Love has no limit. Desire has no ceiling. If you stop, you will grow cold. If you become complacent, you will slide. You must keep seeking, keep thirsting, keep clinging to me. The enemy does not need to destroy immediately. It only needs to cool you gradually. Like a glowing ember pulled from the fire, at first it is hot, but soon it goes out. If you separate from communion with me, from prayer and worship, you too will lose heat. That is why I call you to keep the flame always burning, never to be extinguished. Look at yourself. Were there times you prayed with fiercer fire, read my words with greater hunger, worshipped with deeper joy? Yet over the years, you let habit replace passion. You read my words as duty. You pray as a routine. You gather as tradition. I do not reproach you, but I call you back. Ask me to rekindle the flame. Let the Holy Spirit breathe new life into your soul. Do not let the enemy deceive you that delay is harmless. It is the most dangerous strategy. If it cannot make you hate the cross, it will make you indifferent to the cross. If it cannot make you deny me, it will make you wait. But in the end, the result is the same. When the door is shut, you are outside. I did not make you to be outside. I made you to be within. But I also respect your choice, and that choice will echo for eternity. I do not want you bound by fear. I want you driven by love. Love is strong enough to keep you awake. Fear may cause you to run for a moment, but only love keeps you for the long haul. When you comprehend how much I love you, you will not want to delay a single second in entering into union. When you know my Son stretched out his arms on the cross for you, you will not want to hesitate. So choose today. Do not wait for another moment. Do not wait for more favorable conditions. I say now is the acceptable time. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. You do not need to be perfect to come to me. You do not need to arrange everything before you give yourself. Come to me now in your present condition, weak, broken, full of doubt, and I will do the rest. I know you feel weary, sometimes perplexed by silence, but I am not absent. I watch, I wait, I work. When you pray and see no result yet, do not think I have forgotten. I never forget. I am never late. I always work in the fullness of time. But you must persevere, cling, and continue to believe. Do not give up just because you have not seen. Do not lose heart because you have not yet received an answer. True faith is to keep walking, even when you cannot see the path. Choose me once more. Do not let your heart be bound by delay. Let the flame within you blaze again. Let your home resound with worship. Let your mouth proclaim words of life. Do not wait another day. I am knocking. Do you hear? Open the door. I will come in, and I will dwell with you, my beloved. When I set you as a watchman, I do not leave you standing naked upon the wall. I do not give you responsibility without weapons. I know your strength alone is insufficient to withstand the rising tide of darkness, so I have provided every spiritual weapon so you may stand. You do not fight with fleshly swords or human schemes, but by power from heaven. This battle is not of flesh and blood, but the clash between light and darkness, truth and falsehood, life and death. Put on the armor I have given. Gird your loins with truth, for if you do not stand on a firm foundation, all else will waver. Truth is what the enemy fears most, for it cannot live in the light. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, for integrity will shield your heart from the arrows of doubt. Fit your feet with readiness to proclaim the gospel of peace, so that every step you take leaves a trace of light. Take up the shield of faith to quench all the flaming darts of the enemy. Wear the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from lies. And above all, take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, the sharp blade that discerns true from false, light from darkness. My child, many regard these things as mere symbols, but in the unseen realm they are genuine weapons. When you proclaim my words, you wield a sword that cuts into darkness. When you trust me despite the circumstances, you lift a shield that quenches the enemy's flaming darts. When you walk in righteousness, you don the armor that guards the soul. And when you persist in prayer, you keep the lamp burning on the wall. Do not regard this as abstract theory. This is the strategy I have given you, so that you may prevail in the battle set before you. The watchman does more than gaze into the distance. He cares for every small detail. A tiny crack in the wall is all the enemy needs to slip through, and likewise a bitter word, an unforgiven offense, or a seemingly small compromise can open the door to darkness. Therefore I say to you, guard your heart above all else. Proverbs 4:2-3. Forgive at the first opportunity, speak words that give life instead of accusations, and sow peace where suspicion would take root. These small acts are the mortar that binds the stones of the wall and keeps the fortress whole. Be watchful, not as one who lives in fear, but as one who lives in readiness. The watchman does not panic at every sound, yet he is never careless. Vigilance means keeping your mind open to hear my voice and your spirit sharpened to discern the true from the false. Many imagine that such watchfulness will exhaust them, but real peace is born of being alert in me, for when you keep watch with me, the burden is not yours alone. I stand on the wall with you. I look forward with you, and together we ward off each assault. Remember that endurance is the truest kind of strength. It is not a momentary blaze, but steady, faithful perseverance that makes the enemy tremble. The fact that a soul stands firm after many storms is proof of my presence. That is why I call you not to give up when you are weary. Stand. When you see nothing, pray. When you feel nothing, worship, because it is through that steadfastness that I will disclose my power. Look to those who have gone before you. David did not become a warrior overnight. He became faithful while tending small flocks. Daniel did not keep faith in the lion's den without first praying faithfully day by day. Nehemiah and the people did not rebuild Jerusalem without carrying both trowel and sword, laying each brick with patient endurance. Strength does not spring from a single brilliant moment, but from faithful days joined one to another. Do not be surprised if others misunderstand your vigilance. They may call you harsh, unusual, or extreme, for the watchman does not live to win popular approval, but to please the one who placed him on the wall. If you hear my voice, stand firm even when mocked. The faithfulness you show today will become the testimony that speaks for you tomorrow. Know also that your watchfulness is not only your protection, but a covering for your household. Every prayer you speak raises a fence. Every blessing you pronounce adds a layer of armor. Every tear you offer becomes a seed sown into the future. Your children will breathe the spiritual atmosphere you create. They will learn to seek me not only from books, but from the sincerity of your life. When they see you kneel, when they hear the cadence of your prayer, when they witness your willingness to forgive, they receive a living legacy more enduring than any earthly inheritance. Do not despise small acts. A midnight prayer, a silent tear, a private decision to forgive. These are all noted in heaven. Darkness trembles before quiet perseverance, because it recognizes in that quiet the proof of unshakable love. Truly, I tell you, every prayer of yours rises like incense before my throne. Every tear you shed I keep, and every faithful deed you perform will have echoes into eternity. Therefore stand firm, put on the armor I have given you. Take up the sword and keep the lamp burning. Do not let go, do not abandon your post, and do not leave the wall empty. I am with you, and if I am with you, no power can prevail against you. When I appoint you as a watchman, I do not set you alone upon the wall, nor give you a task without arms. I know that your own strength is insufficient to stem the rising tide of darkness, so I have provided every spiritual weapon you need. You do not fight with human swords or cunning, but by the power that comes from heaven. This conflict is not of flesh and blood, but a contest between light and darkness, truth and falsehood, life and death. Gird yourself with truth, for without a firm foundation everything else will shake. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, so that uprightness shields your heart from the arrows of doubt. Wear shoes of readiness to proclaim the gospel of peace, so that every step leaves a mark of light. Take up the shield of faith to quench every fiery dart of the enemy. Wear the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from lies. and above all grasp the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, a sharp instrument that discerns light from darkness and truth from deceit. Many treat these as mere symbols, yet in the unseen they are real and powerful. Each time you declare my word, you strike the darkness. Each act of trust becomes a shield against assault. Each walk of righteousness clothes you in armor, and every persistent prayer keeps the lamp burning on the wall. This is not mere doctrine. It is the strategy I give you, so that you may stand, prevail, and see my victory made manifest. My child, the watchman does more than gaze into the distance. He tends to every small detail. A tiny crack in the wall is all the enemy needs to slip through. Likewise, a bitter word, an unforgiven offense, or a seemingly small compromise can open the door to darkness. Therefore I say, guard your heart above all else. Proverbs 4:2-3. Forgive when the opportunity comes, speak words of life instead of accusations, and sow peace instead of suspicion. Those small things are the mortar that binds the stones of the wall. My child, being watchful is not living in fear, but living in readiness. The watchman does not panic at every sound, yet he is never careless. To be watchful means your mind is always open to hear my voice, and your spirit is continually alert to discern truth from falsehood. Many imagine that vigilance will wear you out, but in truth, it is vigilance in me that brings peace. When you keep watch in me, you know the burden is not solely on your shoulders. I stand with you on the wall. I look ahead with you. I help you repel every dart. Remember that perseverance is real strength. Not a momentary blaze, but steadfast, lasting faithfulness is what makes the enemy tremble. The fact that a soul still stands after many seasons of storm proves my presence. That is why I call you not to give up. When you are weary, stand. When you see nothing, pray. When you feel nothing, worship. For it is in that perseverance that I will reveal my power. Look to those who went before you. David did not become a warrior in a day. He learned faithfulness while tending the small flocks. Daniel would not have kept his faith in the lion's den had he not first prayed faithfully day by day. Nehemiah and the people did not rebuild Jerusalem without carrying both trowel and sword, laying each brick with patient endurance. You see, strength does not spring from a dazzling moment, but from faithful days strung together. Do not fear if others do not understand your watchfulness. They may call you harsh, different, or extreme. But the watchman does not live to win the approval of the crowd. He lives to please the one who set him in his post. If you hear my voice, stand firm, even when mocked. The faithfulness you show today will become the testimony of tomorrow. Your vigilance does not only keep you safe, it covers your household as well. Each prayer you speak is like a fence. Each blessing you pronounce is like a layer of armor. Each tear you offer is like a seed planted into the future. Your children will grow up in the spiritual atmosphere you create. They will learn to seek me not only from books, but from the sincerity of your life. When they see you kneel, when they hear your prayers, when they witness your willingness to forgive, that will be a living legacy more enduring than anything you could leave behind. Do not despise small acts. A prayer in the midnight hour, a silent tear, a quiet decision to forgive heaven records them all. Darkness trembles before the quiet perseverance of the faithful because it recognizes in that stillness the evidence of unshakable love. Truly, I tell you, every prayer of yours rises like incense before my throne. Every tear you shed I keep, and every faithful deed of yours will have echoes into eternity. My beloved, I tell you, being a watchman is not merely standing on the wall to observe, but being willing to pay the cost to protect the home. Many seek honor, but refuse responsibility. Many desire the light of the spotlight, but fear the silence of night watch. Yet, child, it is in that very silence I measure faithfulness. It is in the hours when no one sees or applauds, and you remain steadfast, that you truly shine in my sight. The enemy will test your faithfulness. He will sow doubts in your heart. Is it necessary to pray so much? Is it necessary to be so cautious? Is it necessary to guard your home over such small things he wants you to slacken for? With just a small opening he can surge in like a flood. But I say, do not let others' mockery or doubt make you waver. When you stand firm, you not only protect yourself, but also those you love most. Your home is not merely a shelter, it is the foundation for the next generation. Your children will be formed by the atmosphere you cultivate. If that atmosphere is filled with quarrel, bitterness, and fear, they will learn those patterns. But if it is suffused with forgiveness, peace, and trust, they too will be shaped by them. Remember, you teach your children more by how you live than by what you say. They will remember the times you knelt in prayer more than any sermon. They will imprint the image of your forgiveness more surely than any moral lesson. They will emulate your sincerity more than any curriculum. Do not be ashamed that you are not perfect. I do not seek perfection. I seek surrender. If you stumble and get up, your children will learn to return to me. If you are weak yet cry out, they will learn to trust. If you fail yet continue to worship, they will learn that faith is not never falling but always coming back to me. That is the true legacy. Be watchful for subtle schemes. Darkness does not only assault with great storms, it also works like slow rust. It slips in through harmless entertainments, small habits and attitudes you deem insignificant. Just as a small crack in the foundation can bring down a whole building, these things can destroy a home if you take them lightly. Therefore, I urge you to be cautious even in the smallest choices. Restore the household altar, not an altar of stone, but a place where a broken heart offers worship. Let your children see that my presence is the center of your home. Let each room ring with prayer. Let praise saturate the atmosphere. In doing so, your house will become a fortress. The darkness cannot penetrate a light for the surrounding area. I know there are times you feel alone. You may think you are the only one standing guard while everyone else sleeps. But I assure you, you are not alone. I still have a remnant. Across the earth I am stirring others who hear the same call. You are part of an unseen company standing firm, each at his appointed place. When you are faithful, you are joined with them on the same front, even if you have never met. Stand firm, for you are not only guarding the present but the future. You are writing a legacy for your descendants. You are inscribing upon your family's history a spiritual mark that no one can erase. That legacy is not written in the world's books but recorded in my heavenly annals. Angels note each action, each prayer, each tear you offer. Nothing is forgotten, nothing is overlooked. I chose you not to blend in but to stand out, not to be afraid but to be victorious, not to flee but to take your ground. I am the one who goes with you, the keeper of the wall, the giver of strength. Cling to me and I will do the rest. My beloved child, there are moments in the journey of faith when the horizon seems to vanish. Lights that once guided you appear to go out. The path you once trod in confidence crumbles beneath your feet. I know days when your strength runs dry, when the air around you grows suffocating and fear presses in on your soul. Child, those moments are not unknown to me. I have watched generations stand at the edge of despair, seeming abandoned in silence. Now I say to you, do not mistake my silence for my absence. Do not let stillness convince you that I have forgotten. I am nearer to you than your next breath. Even when you do not feel me, I am there. Even when you cannot see the way, I am the way. When darkness covers you, I remain an undying light. When you fall into uncertainty, I see through eternity. I never take my eyes off you, not for a single moment. Your confusion does not make me falter. Your weakness does not make me retreat. On the contrary, I am drawn to your broken heart, for it is precisely in weakness that my power is displayed. I know you long for your prayers to be answered at once. You yearn for my presence to break forth in clarity, for deliverance to arrive without delay. Yet I want you to understand, delay is not denial. Waiting is not punishment. It is preparation. In the seasons when you cannot see me move, I am still working behind the veil. I am planting the seed of the answer into the soil of your surrender. I am aligning people, weaving circumstances, and opening pathways your eyes cannot yet perceive. You look through the narrow hallway of time, but I behold the whole eternal tapestry. Learn to recognize me in the silence. At times my whisper can only be heard when every noise around you has faded. When you find yourself sitting in a quiet room with no one to confide in, that is when my voice becomes clearest. Do not fear the silence, for it is not emptiness, but the ground where I sow faith. This faith is not rooted in fleeting feelings, but in the unshakable truth that I am faithful whether you perceive me or not. Remember, my promises do not waver with your emotions. My love does not change with the seasons. My faithfulness does not depend on circumstances. I am the Lord who does not change. What I have spoken I will surely fulfill, but I act in perfect timing, not according to human schedules. I am never early, nor am I late. I always arrive at the appointed hour. Therefore, when you feel delayed, do not despair. Trust that I am preparing something far better than what you expected. Waiting does not weaken faith, it deepens it. Just as roots push deeper into the earth when rain does not fall, so your faith grows stronger when my silence lingers. In the days without answers, your soul learns to lean on me instead of your own wisdom. In the darkness of night, you learn to discern even the faintest glimmer of my light. In the longing that is not satisfied at once, you learn the secret of contentment in me alone. Do not abandon hope when results are unseen. Do not imagine prayer to be useless when the answer has not come. Every prayer, even a whisper, rises before my throne like incense. Every tear, though shed in secret, I treasure. Every time you choose me over despair, heaven records it. No act of faithfulness from you is overlooked. All are woven into the greater design of my purpose. Therefore, when you enter the fog of uncertain days, know this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a deeper maturity. Lift your eyes. Do not stare into the void ahead. Believe that I am writing a chapter you cannot yet imagine. And when the page turns, you will understand that even the silent moments were essential threads of my love. My beloved child, I know how often you have knelt and cried, Lord, where are you? Why do I call out and hear only the echo of my own voice? In those hours you feel as though I have turned away, as though my silence were evidence of abandonment. But hear me truly, my silence is never my absence. Rather, it is the space I use to work in ways deeper than words. You see life as one standing in a narrow corridor, able to glimpse only a few steps ahead while I see the entire map from beginning to end. You see delay, but I see perfect timing. You call silence a void, but I call it fertile soil for the seed of faith. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not measure my love by the ticking of earthly clocks. I do not arrive early or late, but always right on time. Consider Abraham. When I promised him descendants as countless as the stars, he waited decades before the fulfillment. His faith was tested, but in that testing, he became the father of nations. Remember Joseph. His long years in prison were not abandonment, but preparation. At the appointed moment, I lifted him from the dungeon to the throne to preserve the people. Recall David. From the caves of hiding, hunted and weary, it took many years before he wore the crown. Yet in the silence I shaped him into a man after my own heart. See, silence has never been neglect, but a furnace in which I forge strength. I know delay tempts you to doubt yourself. Did I pray wrongly? Has the Lord stopped listening? But stand firm. I hear every whisper. I keep every tear. I mark every surrender. Every cry is preserved before my throne. Though you may think nothing is changing in the unseen realm, I am at work. I am shifting pieces, moving threads, crafting a design you cannot yet imagine. My silence is an invitation to draw deeper. When all outside voices are hushed, you can hear the soft prompting of my spirit. Do not fear the stillness. Let it be the meeting place. In the secret room, when no one else remains, you will discover I am there. Silence teaches you to distinguish between fleeting emotions and steadfast faith. It compels you to cling to me rather than sensations that pass. Know this faith does not mature in comfort but in trial. The strongest roots do not grow in watered fields, but in dry soil that forces them to seek hidden streams. In the same way, your soul will anchor more deeply when answers are delayed. In the long night absent of light, you will notice the faintest ray that comes from me. In unsatisfied longing, you will learn to rest in my sufficiency. Do not fear that my delay will erode hope. True hope is not crushed by time. It is refined through it. Just as gold shines brighter after the fire, your faith emerges purer through silence. When you continue to believe without sight, that is when your faith reaches its unshakable strength. I know there are nights when you lie still with only sighs to break the quiet. You think no one hears, yet I hear. You think no one understands, yet I understand more than you do yourself. I interpret the language of your tears. I read the melody of your sorrow. You need not form the perfect words. I know even the groanings are too deep to utter, and it is in your weakness that I work most powerfully. It is in your helplessness that I reveal my strength. Do not confuse my silence with indifference. On the contrary, silence proves I trust you enough to endure this process. I do not rush to rescue, because I desire you to know that even when you cannot see me, you can still believe in me. That is mature faith. That is love perfected. Child, remember my promise. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. New strength is not found in ease, but in waiting. Wings do not grow in safe places, but in the leap of faith over the unknown. Do not fear silence, for there I am forming new wings for you. My child, I know you have knelt again and again in the darkness, your heart full of questions. Why has the Lord not answered? Why do I pray and see no change? You look up at the ceiling and hear the heavy silence, and imagine I cannot hear or do not care. But beloved, I want you to understand it is precisely in the night when you see nothing that I am still at work. Do not think that silence means my absence. Do not think that delay means my abandonment. I am nearest to you when you are weakest, and I act most powerfully when you think nothing is happening. Faith is not an emotion, but a choice. Your feelings will rise and fall with circumstances. When you see results, your heart overflows with joy. When you see nothing, you are prone to despair. But true faith rises above feelings. True faith is the decision to continue trusting me, even when your soul trembles. True faith is a declaration. Even though I have not seen, I believe. Though it is dark, I will step. Though I have not heard, I will worship. That kind of faith moves heaven and makes the enemy tremble. Look to the examples of those who went before you. Abraham waited patiently for many years before he saw the promise fulfilled. Joseph endured years in prison while it seemed I was silent, yet I was preparing him for a place and time when he would save a nation. David was hunted from cave to cave, often thinking he had been forgotten, but in those years he learned humility and trust and was shaped into a man after my own heart. Do you see, darkness is never the end. It is a training ground where faith is tested in the fire and matured. Remember, I never waste your pain. Every tear has meaning. Every silent groan is heard by me. Every prayer, even the single sigh, ascends before my throne like sweet incense. You think it vanishes into the air, but in truth it is kept by the angels in a golden vessel until the time I have appointed, when it shall pour down as a rain of blessing. No cry of yours is in vain. No season of waiting is meaningless. Do not equate delay with refusal. I never act half-heartedly. If I have not opened a door, it is because I am preparing a greater entrance. If I have not answered, it is because I am composing a deeper story. If I have not turned circumstances yet, it is because I first turn your heart. Sometimes what matters most is not that you receive an answer, but that you become the one I intend in the process of waiting. Beloved, perseverance in the dark is not easy. It is like passing through the valley of the shadow of death, where every sound seems swallowed and each step feels weighted with stone. Yet there you learn that my presence is enough. You learn that even without visible light, you can trust the one who promised. You learn that true love does not withdraw when there is no evidence, but clings even without a sign. That is the love I seek in you. Remember Job. He lost everything, his wealth, his children, his health. Friends condemned him and relatives withdrew. He cried out and thought I was silent, but it was through his perseverance that faith was revealed. In the end, I restored him 100-fold, not only materially, but with a deeper knowledge of me. See, darkness did not bury Job. It made him a living testimony of my faithfulness. I know there are nights when you say, I cannot endure this any longer, but I remind you, you are not bearing this alone. I am right beside you. When you are weary, I sustain you. When you are weak, my strength is perfected in you. When you fall, I lift you up. When you have no words left to pray, I hear even your sighs. When you cannot walk, I carry you. Do not imagine you struggle alone. Do not think you must hold yourself up by your own power. I hold you, and my hand never leaves you. Perseverance is not clinging in despair, but choosing to stand in hope. True hope is not anchored in circumstances, but in me, the one who does not change. The world changes, people fail, plans collapse. But I am faithful. My words never return void. When I promise, I will fulfill. So let your hope be anchored in me, not in what you see. Child, every moment you choose to trust rather than give up, you create a testimony in the unseen realm. Each time you worship through tears, you declare war on the lies. Each prayer in the dark stirs heaven. Each time you rise after falling, you make the darkness tremble. Do not despise the small steps of perseverance. They are the proof of true strength, the power that comes from the Holy Spirit. Therefore, do not let go before you see the result. Do not lose heart before an answer comes. Do not retreat while the night still covers you. Believe that I am still working silently but surely. Persevere, and you will reap with joy if you do not give up. Stand firm, for the harvest season will come, and you will see that no prayer, no tear, no step of yours has been wasted. The night will not last forever. Dawn will come. And when the light breaks, you will see that I was with you in every moment. You will see that I never abandoned you, never dismissed you. You will know that your perseverance was not in vain. It has become a weapon, a testimony, an inheritance. I will use it to illuminate the lives of others so they too may find hope as they pass through their own nights. My beloved, I know the long hours when you pray and hear only the echo of your own heart. You imagine I have gone away, that my silence is abandonment. But child, be careful, this is the lie the enemy wants to weave into your soul. He wants you to believe I have forgotten, that I do not care, that my love changes with circumstance. The truth is, I never part from you, I never leave you. In the silence I am present, and weaving something far greater than your eyes can see. Imagine a weaver at her loom. From the outside, the threads appear loose, random, and unrelated, mere chaos to an untrained eye. But in the weaver's hands, each line, each color, each knot has purpose. Only when the tapestry is complete does beauty emerge. So too your life may seem like scattered fragments, dark days, unanswered prayers, yet in my hands all is joined and woven into a glorious picture. One day when I let you look back, you will understand that nothing was wasted. My silence is not a sign I do not care, but a testimony that I am working at depths your eyes cannot see. I change more than outward circumstances. I transform the heart within. If I answered immediately, you might receive results without growth. But when I lead you through waiting and silence, I am refining faith, patience, and surrender. Those are worth more than silver and gold, for they prepare you for eternal glory. I do not measure things the way humans measure them. You count days and months by clocks and calendars. I count by purpose. You see delay as waste, but I see it as investment. You think silence is meaningless, yet I regard it as the language of trust. For only in silence can I know whether you love me for who I am or only for what I give. When you cling to me without an answer that proves your love is genuine, remember my word to you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 1:3-5. You may not hear my voice for a season, but my promise never loses its power. I do not change as humans do. I do not forget as your memory does. I am the faithful God, and my silence is never betrayal. It is a veil set aside to prepare a greater revealing. Look to Joseph. In prison he cried out and thought no one heard. Yet it was in prison that I was preparing him to be a ruler. Look to David. While fleeing and hiding in caves, he believed I had forgotten the anointing. In those years he learned to rely on me, and afterward became the king after my own heart. Look to Elijah. After a great victory, he fell into despair and felt alone. But I showed him there were 7,000 who had not bowed to Baal. Do you see, silence is only a curtain, and behind that curtain I am still at work. Do not let silence discourage you. Let it teach you to discern true faith. True faith does not require immediate proof, but clings to my promise. True faith is not governed by feelings, but stands firm on truth. True faith believes not only when miracles are visible, but also when everything remains still. This is the kind of faith I desire to plant deep within you. In the silence, I invite you to draw nearer. Use that time to hear my whisper. Open your heart so I may prune away what is unnecessary. Allow me to turn unmet longings into a flame that drives you to seek me more. When you sit in a quiet room thinking nothing is happening, trust that I am writing a new chapter, one you never imagined. Remember that what I weave is not only for you, but also for those who will follow. One day, when they walk through their own darkness, your testimony will be the light that guides them. Your faithfulness today will become hope for coming generations. So do not regard waiting as merely about you. It is bigger than you. It involves lineage generations, and the plan I have ordained to work through your life. Darkness does not last forever. Silence will not remain silent always. I will speak, I will open doors, I will act. On that day you will understand that every moment of waiting, every day of silence had a purpose. You will see that I never abandoned you. I was preparing to reveal something greater. Therefore, when I am silent, do not give up. Do not let the enemy persuade you that I do not care. Remember, my silence is the space I use to weave redemption, restoration, and miracles. Hold fast to me, continue to pray, continue to trust, and then in my time you will be astonished by the beauty of what I have prepared. My child, I am never hasty, yet I am never tardy. I act according to perfect timing, not by human urgency. You often think I delay, but that delay is not refusal. It is preparation. I prepare you, prepare those around you, prepare the circumstances, so that when the miracle comes, it will not merely meet your need, but will glorify my name and touch many others. I hold the universe in my hands. Times, seasons, years, all are ordained by me. As the sun rises at its appointed hour, and seasons follow without error, so everything in your life lies within my plan. You may think you missed an opportunity, that time has passed, that there is nothing left to hope for. But I say to you, I am the one who redeems time. Nothing is beyond my power to restore. What you consider late, I can make new. What you believe lost, I can recover. What you think closed, I can open with a door no one else can shut. Remember the story of Lazarus. When he was sick, his sisters begged me to come quickly, but I waited. To human eyes, I was too late. Lazarus had been dead 4 days. They mourned and accused, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Yet in that delay, I displayed greater power. If I had healed him while still sick, people would have seen one kind of miracle. But when I called him out from the tomb, all witnessed undeniable glory. Do you see, delay is not denial, but the setting for a far greater display. There are things you regard as dead dreams, hopes, relationships, opportunities. You see them like Lazarus in the tomb, but I believe that I can still say, come forth. And when I speak, no chains can hold, no stone can stand, no darkness can block. Delay only magnifies the miracle's clarity. And when the miracle comes, you will know it was not by you nor by any human hand, but wholly by my doing. Learn to trust me even when you do not understand. You demand comprehension to be at ease. Yet I say, you do not need to understand in order to believe. You only need to believe, and understanding will come. Delay is not an empty space for doubt, but a room in which to practice faith. When you choose to trust me without full understanding, you offer me the most precious gift, complete surrender. O child, my delay is also a lesson to help you discern true value. If I gave you immediately all you desired, you might take it lightly. But when you wait, when you long, when you learn to pray through your tears, then upon receiving you will cherish and steward it. What is given in my timing endures longer than what is grasped in haste. Delay teaches you to rest in me. You cannot control everything, nor can you force events to happen according to your will. You must learn to let go and trust me. When you release your grip, you will find peace flooding in. When you cease to control, you will see that I am in control. When you stop striving, you will witness my strength at work. It is precisely the rest you have in me that proves true faith. Know this, I do not only want to give you an answer, I want to give you myself. The most precious thing is not the miracle, but my presence while you wait. A miracle may change circumstances, but only my presence changes your soul. And in the delay you learn that I am enough for you, even when you do not yet have what you have been asking for. Do not lose heart. Keep praying, keep singing praise, keep trusting. Remember that I am the unchanging one. I do not lie. I never break my promises. If I have promised, I will surely fulfill it. And when you look back, you will see that delay was never a refusal, but a stepping stone toward a greater miracle. My beloved, I know there are times when you look around and see people who do not honor me yet are prosperous and celebrated. You see those who do not pray, who do not seek me yet, their path seems smooth and easy. Meanwhile, you persist in following me, sacrificing, enduring loss, and still facing many hardships. Oftentimes you whisper, Lord, why do I labor and see no result while they enjoy blessing without you? I hear that complaint. And I want you to understand one truth: do not envy the wicked, for their joy is fleeting, whereas the joy found in me endures forever. You see only the surface. You see houses, wealth, fame, laughter, and revelry, but you do not see, inside their hearts, emptiness, anxiety, and a lack of true peace. They may smile outwardly, yet their souls wither. They may be rich, yet possess no life. Remember my word in Psalm 37. Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong, for they will soon fade like the grass. What you observe in them is an illusion, like a flower that blooms in the morning and withers by evening, like smoke vanishing in the wind. Beloved, lift your eyes beyond the present. See with the light of eternity. You may witness their momentary triumphs, but you do not see their end. You may see their broad, easy road, but you do not see the abyss at its close. You, though your way may be narrow and rugged, are traveling toward life. Do not compare a fleeting moment with eternal glory. Do not trade everlasting life for transient pleasure. I want you to know I see every drop of your sweat, every sacrifice, every prayer. Though the world does not notice, I do. Though humanity does not acknowledge, I record it, and the reward I prepare is not like the world's reward. It does not fade, rot, or disappear, I promise you. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. You may not see it now, but the day will come when you look back and find every sacrifice was worth it. Child, remember Asaph, who once saw the prosperity of the wicked and whose heart was shaken. He cried out, "Truly, I have kept my heart pure in vain." But when he entered into my sanctuary, he perceived their end. He understood that all transient glory is a snare, and he declared, "For me to draw near to God is my good, so come near to me." Do not let your eyes rest on counterfeit prosperity. Lift them to behold the truth in the light of eternity. Child, I know the temptation to compare is powerful. It eats away at your joy, makes you doubt my love, and tempts you to think following me is worthless. Do not let the enemy sow that lie. True value does not lie in what the eye sees, but in what the eye has yet to see. What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal. I have promised you a reward no one can snatch away. The wicked may build kingdoms, though founded on sand. When the storm comes, all will collapse. But if you build on the rock, on me, your house will stand firm when the storms come. Choose your foundation, not outward appearance. Choose truth, not illusion. Choose me, not fleeting comforts. Beloved, do not think I am unjust because the wicked prosper. I am merciful, sending rain on the righteous and the unrighteous alike. I am patient, giving them opportunity to repent. But on the appointed day my justice will be revealed. Do not envy them, for their end is ruin, unless they turn back. Do not compare your narrow path with their wide road, for the destination is what matters. Focus on your portion. Do not let your eyes chase false prosperity. Keep your heart upright. Do good, sow in faith. I see, I remember, I reward. Do not let envy defile your soul. Do not let bitterness corrode you. Keep your joy in me, for that is a joy no one can take away. Let my words be engraved upon your heart. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. You are not wasting your effort when you do what is right. You are not futile when you walk in righteousness. You do not lose when you choose me over the world. Every sacrifice, every act of faithfulness, every deed of love, all are noted by me and will bear eternal fruit. Do not forget the joy of the wicked is fleeting, but the joy I give endures forever. The world's peace depends on circumstances. The peace I give transcends all understanding. The world's rewards can be taken away, but the reward I promise is everlasting. So do not envy, but stand firm. Do not look at them, look to me. Do not let your heart be shaken. Anchor it in my unchanging faithfulness. Therefore, when you see the wicked prosper, remember it is but a passing shadow. When you see your own lack, remember I am the unfailing spring. When you see unanswered prayer, remember I am still at work. And when you feel alone, remember I am with you. True joy, true peace, true life, all are found in me. My beloved, I know that on many long nights you have sat in a quiet room, offered prayers, and heard only your own heartbeat and tired sighs. You feel as though your words rise and vanish into the air with no reply from heaven. You begin to wonder, does the Lord not hear me? Has He abandoned me? I see those heavy thoughts burdening your heart, and today I want to teach you a truth. Silence never means absence. My silence is not evidence of abandonment. It is the soil in which I plant invisible seeds, preparing the day the miracle will sprout. Remember that I am the one who made heaven and earth. Everything in the universe moves according to my timing. The sun rises and sets neither early nor late. Seasons succeed each other on exact schedule. Birds sing at morning, flowers bloom in season. If I have ordered nature in such precision, how could your life be random? Every moment you undergo, even those that seem silent, is part of a meaningful plan. Never mistake that silence for forgetting. No, beloved, I am weaving a picture your eyes cannot yet see. Imagine a loom. When the weaver begins, threads interlace in apparent chaos, shapeless and tangled. To a casual glance, it looks like meaningless disorder. But every weave, every knot, every color is intentional. Only when the work is finished does its beauty appear. So is your life. You see scattered threads, a disappointment, an unanswered petition, an extended delay. But I, the master weaver, am joining them together, weaving a tapestry of glory. When it is complete, you will marvel at a beauty beyond your imagining. Beloved, my silence is not my absence, but my presence in another form. When I am silent, I desire that you listen with spiritual ears, not merely the senses. When I am silent, I call you to come nearer, go deeper, and learn to discern the whisper in your spirit. If I always answered instantly, you would never learn patience, nor the true value of faith. Hear my word in Isaiah 5:5, 8:9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. My silence reminds you that you need not comprehend everything in order to believe. You only need to trust me, and one day you will understand. In stillness I am making a way. In waiting I am training you. In delay I am protecting you from what you do not yet see. Do not look at others and compare. You see them prayed for and answered quickly while you still wait. You think I favor them more, that I have abandoned you. But the truth is different. I lead each person along an individual path. Different seeds require different times to sprout. Some germinate within days, some lie in the ground through a whole winter, yet all are in the hands of the sower. So do not compare. Trust that I know what is best for you, and I will act at the perfect time. Remember Joseph. In the dark prison he thought I had forgotten him, yet I used that very dungeon to refine his faithfulness and prepare him for a throne. Remember David. While hunted and hiding in caves, he felt the loss of the anointing, but in those days he learned to rely on me and became a man after my own heart. Remember Lazarus. Many thought I came too late, but it was in that delay that I displayed resurrection power. See, silence and delay are not denial, but a stepping stone to greater glory. Change your view of silence. Do not regard it as an empty void. Regard it as a training room. Do not see it as proof of distance. See it as an invitation to draw closer. Come to me not merely for answers, but for myself. Let your longing blaze brighter. Let waiting bind you closer. You will find that in silence you experience me more deeply than before. I am weaving what you do not yet understand. I am joining the scattered fragments. I am using joy and pain, success and failure to write a complete story. Do not let silence discourage you. Let it make you steadfast. Do not let it sow doubt. Let it build faith. Do not let it pull you away from me. Let it draw you nearer. Child, one day, when you look back, you will see that I never abandoned you. You will see that every silent moment was purposeful. You will understand that I wove something far better than you imagined. And then you will praise, my God has been faithful. My child, I am never late, and I never arrive too early. I always come at my own time, the perfect time. You often look at the clock and say, Lord, you are too late. But my child, remember that I am not bound by time. I am the one who made time, and I operate above it. You see delay, I see preparation. You think delay is loss. I know that delay is often the only way for you to receive something better. Remember the story of Lazarus. When he was gravely ill, his sisters sent someone to find me, begging me to come at once. But I stayed 2 more days. In the eyes of people, I came too late because Lazarus had been dead 4 days. Grief covered the place, tears flowed, and everyone thought it was over. Yet it was precisely that delay that made way for a greater miracle. If I had healed him while he was still sick, that would have been a miracle. But when I called him out of the tomb, it became an undeniable glory. Do you see then that delay is not refusal, but a means of revealing power beyond your imagination? My child, there are things you think are dead, a dream, a relationship, a hope. You look at them like Lazarus's corpse in the tomb, buried, sealed, without life. But remember that I am the one who says, come out. When I speak, no chains can hold, no stone can keep, no darkness can hide. It is precisely in what you thought was finished that I will reveal a new beginning. In those graves of despair, I will speak life. In delay, I prepare for you a clearer, greater, deeper miracle. I know your heart is often impatient. You want me to act at once. You want prayers answered immediately. You think that if what you ask for does not come in time, it will lose its value. But my child, I never withhold what is good. If I hold back, it is because I am protecting you from haste that could harm. If I delay, it is because I am building a firmer foundation. You only see a small portion of the picture. I see the whole. You fear losing opportunities, but I know how to redeem time. I can open a door that no one can close, and I can make new again what seems faded. O child, my delay is a school of trust. I want you to learn to walk with me, not to run ahead of me. Many times you have tried to fix things yourself, to find your own way out, to arrange things by your own will. But the more you do, the more helpless you become. It is precisely in waiting that you learn to let go, to entrust, to rest in me. Only then will you understand that peace does not come from controlling everything, but from letting me be in control. Delay also reveals what is in your heart. It exposes parts that have not fully surrendered, selfish desires, deep fears. I let you wait not to punish, but to heal. In the waiting, I strip away pride, dismantle dependence on self, and place within you a simple yet enduring faith. That is how I prepare you to receive not only the answer, but myself. Remember that a miracle is never only about you. I act so that many may see my glory. My delay often involves other links you do not see. I am arranging people's circumstances and timing so all may come together to display a greater picture. If I acted according to your immediate wish, the miracle might touch only you. But when I wait for the right time, the miracle can touch many lives, generations even, and be recorded in history. Do not fear delay. Regard it as a reminder that I am at work. When you see nothing, trust that I am still acting. When you hear nothing, know that I am still speaking in the silence. When you receive nothing, believe that I am still preparing. Delay is never meaningless. It is the space where faith takes root, where the soul matures, where love deepens. Remember that I do not only want to grant you what you ask, I want to give you myself. If you have a miracle without me, you will lose the miracle. But if you have me, you will have everything you need. Therefore, delay helps you learn to seek me, not just to seek gifts. It teaches you to be content in me, even before the desires of your heart are fulfilled. Then you will realize that the true reward is not the answer, but my presence. The night will pass. Dawn will come. My appointed time has been fixed, and when it comes, no one can stop it. When I speak, the Red Sea must part graves, must open mountains, must move. No power can resist my timing. And when that day arrives, you will understand that every delay had meaning. You will cry out, Lord, you have done all things beautifully in your time. My child, I want you to persevere. Do not give up when you do not see. Do not let go when you have not heard. Do not grow discouraged when you have not received. Keep praying, keep praising, keep believing. Today's delay is only preparation for a glorious revelation tomorrow. And when the miracle comes, you will know for certain that it was my hand and mine alone. My child, I know the times you look around your life and see people who never call on me, who do not fear me, yet they prosper, grow wealthy, and are praised. In your heart you sometimes murmur, Lord, I follow. You keep my heart upright, yet I suffer. That person who does not know you lives in abundance. I understand what you feel. I hear that whisper in your heart. But today I tell you, do not envy the wicked, for their joy is only fleeting, while the joy in me is lasting forever. I remind you, you see their outward splendor, but you do not see the inside of their souls. You see smiles, but I see emptiness. You see feasts, but I hear sighs in the night. You see them holding power, but I see fear lurking within them, for no one can escape the truth that only I am the source of life. Remember, wealth does not bring peace, power does not give life, fame cannot preserve the soul. Whoever does not have me, even if they possess the whole world, still lacks everything. My child, my word in Psalm 37 still rings out. Do not fret because of evildoers or be envious of the wicked, for they will soon wither like the grass and fade like the green herb. The wicked are like lush grass in the spring rain, but when the summer heat comes, they wither away. Their joy is an illusion quickly passing. The righteous, however, are like trees planted by the water, always green, yielding fruit in season, whose leaves do not wither. Choose to be a tree by the stream, not grass in the field. Remember Asaph. He was perplexed when he saw the prosperity of the wicked. He lamented, "Indeed, have I kept my heart pure in vain?" But when he entered the sanctuary, his eyes were opened, and he saw their end. He understood that fleeting glory leads to ruin, while his portion is to draw near to God. He exclaimed, "For me to draw near to God is my good." So you too look with eternal light. Do not let your eyes stop at the present. Let them behold the eternal. I am patient with the wicked, giving them opportunity to repent. I send rain to the righteous and to the unjust alike, but my patience is not indulgence. On the day I have appointed, justice will be revealed. Do not think I do not see. I see everything, every scheme, every word, every deed. I also see each tear of yours, each quiet faithfulness, each unnoticed sacrifice. I am a just God, and I will not let anything be forgotten. Remember, envy is a snare. It quietly drains joy, sows bitterness, and blinds you, so you no longer see the blessings I give. If you keep looking at others, you will not see me. Therefore I say, keep your eyes on me. Do not look at the transient prosperity of others. Look to the eternal reward I have promised. Do not let your heart waver. Anchor it in my faithfulness. The joy I give is not like the world's joy. Worldly joy depends on circumstances with money. You rejoice, lose it, and you grieve. Receive praise, and you are glad. Suffer criticism, and you are discouraged. But the joy in me rises above circumstances. Paul in prison still sang praise. The saints in affliction still rejoiced because they knew the one they trusted never changes. The joy I give is the peace that surpasses all understanding, a fire in the heart no one can extinguish. I see the weariness in your heart when you compare yourself to others. But remember, you are not called to follow their path, but to walk the path I have for you. Do not compare your seed to another's harvest. Some seeds sprout quickly, some need a long winter. But in the planter's hand all will bear fruit in due season. Persevere in sowing, persevere in doing good. In season you will reap if you do not grow weary. The temporary prosperity of the wicked may unsettle you, but remember, it is no different from a castle built on sand. When the storm comes, all will collapse. If you build on the rock which is me, then, though rain falls and winds blow, your house will stand. So do not trade the foundation for appearance. Do not choose temporary comforts at the cost of eternal life. My child, I am your portion. If you have me, you have everything. Whoever has the whole world yet loses their soul gains nothing. Do not let comparison steal your peace. Do not let bitterness corrode your soul. Learn from Paul, I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. You will find that happiness does not come from circumstances, but from my presence. Believe that every sacrifice, every good deed, every faithful tear is remembered by me. One day I will give a reward no one can seize. Unlike worldly rewards, perishable, fading, vanishing, my reward is eternal, kept in the vaults of heaven. Therefore work not to be seen by men, but to please me. I call you to lift up your eyes. Do not remain trapped by the narrow view of the present. Do not envy fleeting things. Do not let your heart be shaken by counterfeit prosperity. Look to me, the faithful one, the giver of everlasting joy. When you fix your heart on me, you will no longer feel lack but abundance. When you cling to me, you will understand that true joy cannot be stolen. Keep your heart upright. Continue to walk in righteousness. Sow in faithfulness, for the harvest season will come. Do not let envy turn into bitterness. Let your heart be filled with joy in me. And when that day comes, you will see that your choice was not in vain. You will see that you have not been wronged, but in truth you chose the best portion, the part that will never be taken away. My beloved child, I know that each day you face countless choices. Some seem small, yet shape your whole life. I hear many voices calling the voice of ease, the voice of the crowd, the voice of those who comfort with ease and convenience. But I speak plainly to you, there are two roads before you, one wide that leads to destruction, and one narrow that leads to life. You cannot travel both. You must choose, and that choosing is not once for all, but repeated each day in every decision, every action, every thought. The wide road looks pleasant. It is crowded, noisy, and festive. It promises comfort, little resistance, little pain. But my child, behind that attractive surface lies an abyss, for the wide road is built on compromise. It teaches you to accommodate darkness, to tolerate sin, to hide the truth. It says, just blend in, don't be different, and you will be safe. But I tell you, the safety of the wide road is an illusion. When the last day comes, it will collapse and sweep away all who walked on it. My child, the narrow road is different. Few walk it. It is rugged and demands sacrifice. It forces you to deny yourself, to go against the current, to endure misunderstanding and even ridicule. But my child, it is that very road that leads to life. It leads you to me. It does not promise ease, but it promises endurance. It does not avoid suffering, but it gives everlasting life. I see you weary many times, asking, must it be so hard? Is there a way to keep the faith and live more easily? I hear your cries. But I also hear the enemy whisper, compromise a little. What harm is it? Take the wide road. It will be less painful. Do not be deceived. Every small compromise is a step away from the light. Each concession to darkness forfeits a piece of your soul. In the end, you will find yourself lost on a path of no return. Remember my word. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. The cross is not jewelry, but the sign of dying to self. To take up the cross is to choose the narrow road. To take up the cross is to be ready to say no to compromise, even if it brings loss. To take up the cross is to love truth more than comfort, to love me more than your own life. It is a hard choice, but it opens the door to real life. I do not hide from you that the narrow road has tears, but I also promise that it has glory. I do not deny its pain, but I assure you it has healing. I do not say it is easy, but I affirm that it is worth traveling. For at the end of that road is me, is eternal life, is a reward that will never be lost. My child, I call you to wakefulness. Do not let the crowd enchant you. Do not let the noise lull you to sleep. Do not let comfort steal your soul. The world will praise the broad road. It will call the narrow way foolish. But remember, I too chose the narrow way. I abandoned the throne of glory, took on a weak body, walked the path of the cross, endured humiliation, and died. Yet through that path, I opened life for many. If I, your Lord, chose the narrow way, then you, my disciple, are likewise called to walk it. Remember that the broad road does not lead to freedom, but to chains. It promises liberality, yet in truth it enslaves to desire. It says you will be happy, but its end is emptiness. It rots your soul from within. The narrow way, though it demands discipline and sacrifice, opens the way to true freedom. It frees you from the slavery of sin. It gives you joy that does not depend on circumstances. It leads you into my presence where there is peace and eternal life. Do not think you can stand in the middle. There is no gray area in the kingdom. Either you step onto the narrow way or you follow the broad road. No one can serve two masters. No one can walk both paths. This choice is grave, for it determines eternal destiny. I say to you today, choose life that you and your offspring may live. You may tremble, you may fear that you do not have strength for the narrow way, but be at peace. You are not walking alone. I go before you. I walk beside you. I lift you when you are weak. I uphold you when you fall. I renew your strength when you grow weary. The narrow way has me in it, and my presence is the strength you need. I do not promise that men will praise you. I do not promise you will avoid every misunderstanding, but I promise I will not leave you. I will not abandon you. I promise the joy I give will outweigh the pain. I promise the reward you receive will be greater than every sacrifice. I promise your faithful footsteps will leave marks for the generations to come. And I promise that at the end of the way you will hear me say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your master." So choose the narrow way. Be decisive against compromise. Stand firm in righteousness. Do not follow the crowd. Follow my voice. Do not choose ease. Choose truth. Do not fear loneliness, for you are not alone. I go with you, and I am the life you seek. My beloved, I know that when you hear my words, deny yourself, take up the narrow way, be resolute against compromise. Your heart sometimes trembles. You ask, how can I bear it? How can I live differently in a world full of temptation? How can I stand when my strength is so small? Child, I hear that fear, and today I remind you, my yoke and burden are light because I carry them with you. You have often borne burdens that were not yours. You have carried responsibilities, carried anxieties, clung to old sins. Let the past weigh upon your shoulders. Those burdens exhaust you and make you think that following me is just another load. But I came not to heap burdens upon you, but to lift away the false loads. I say, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Child, I do not call you to be crushed. I call you to be carried. The difference is this: when you carry your own burdens, you become exhausted. But when you place your shoulder into my yoke, I take the heavier part. My yoke is like the farmer's double yoke placed on 2 oxen. An experienced strong ox goes ahead. A younger, weaker one follows. The young one needs only to step in time with the elder, for the elder bears most of the weight. Do you see? When you share the yoke with me, I bear the difficult part. You only need to walk in step with me. That is why my burden is light, not because it lacks weight, but because I carry it with you. Many times you try to live righteously by your own strength. You make rules for yourself, force yourself toward perfection, fear making mistakes. You turn faith into a burden and become weary and discouraged. But I do not call you into a heavy religion. I call you into a relationship. I do not demand perfection for my love. I love you to transform you. I do not wait for you to be strong before I receive you. I receive you in weakness to display my power. I see you often afraid to follow me because you think you will lose every pleasure. Yet the pleasures you forsake are only temporary illusions. The joy I give is real and lasting. You fear losing freedom, but worldly freedom is a chain wrapped in sugar coating. True freedom is only found in me. You fear the burden, but my yoke does not crush, it lifts. When you hand your load over to me, you will know what lightness truly island. I do not promise no trials, but I promise you will never face them alone. I do not promise there will be no tears, but I promise each tear will fall into my hand. I do not promise the way will be smooth, but I promise your feet will never leave my hands. The burdens you carry may change with seasons, but my presence never changes. Learn to exchange burdens. Put down anxiety and take up peace. Leave bitterness and receive forgiveness. Cast off sin and receive my righteousness. Surrender control and receive my guidance. Each time you give, you will feel lighter. Each time you receive from me, you will feel stronger. Day by day, you will experience that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Imagine a bird trying to fly while clutching a stone. It will never rise. But when it releases the stone, it is free to soar. So are you when you hold on to burdens not meant for you. You will be weighed down. But when you hand them to me, you will be lifted and will fly high in the strength of the Spirit. You will know true freedom, true rest. I am not looking for hardened warriors who carry burdens alone. I seek children who know how to lean on their Father. I delight when you let me walk with you, when you let me bear your load. That is true relationship, not that you please me by your own strength, but that you trust me to work in you. Child obedience is not a chain, but the key that opens life. When you obey me, you do not lose freedom. You enter real freedom. When you walk in my will, you do not lose joy. You enter full joy. When you cling to me, you do not lose yourself. You find yourself. That is what the broad road can never give. Come near to me. Place your shoulder into my yoke. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not hesitate, for I love you. Do not delay, for I wait for you. Walk after me, and you will find burdens lightened and your heart rested. Trust me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light, not because it is unreal, but because I bear it with you. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so together we may receive the living words that build steady faith and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.